Alright. So, for those of you who've been following the series, the Ewls series, you guys know that I have recently moved to Arkansas. And with the move to Arkansas comes a new ecosystem that I need to navigate if I'm going to go live in the woods for 6 months. Oregon had its own set of issues, you know, that I had to deal with. Hey, hey, what's up? That I had to deal with. They were, you know, it's wet and cold all there. Hypothermia was a big issue. And so you're going to see some of the Ewls right here reflect the hypothermic issues that I was having in Oregon. And that's why I have a lot of wool in here. I don't think that's going to change here, though, because I thought about, do I want to change the goals of the Ewls? And the goals of the Ewls were to, you know, be able to function in the dead of winter, soaking wet. And I think wool is really going to be the only thing that allows me to do that. So, let's take a look inside here. This is the update. I've made a few significant changes that were significant enough to go ahead and update, make another content video. I don't know when I made the last one. I think a month or two ago, something like that. But anyway, still using the Kelty Red Wing 50. This has turned out to be a phenomenal pack. I still question its durability for 6 months in the woods. But so far, I mean, I use it as a sit pad, a kneeling pad, a pillow. I use it for a pillow all the time. But so far, it's held up. So I'm just going to keep abusing it until it breaks. And if it does, I'll let you know. Alright. So we'll start with these outside pockets. You guys, I'm sure, of course, are familiar with the Becker BK2 Companion. This is my go-to knife. This thing is awesome. I won't say too much about it because, you know, I've already said in other videos about it. It's my hammer, it's my hatchet, it's my shovel, it's my pry bar, it's my crowbar, it's everything. I love this knife. I abuse it, and it just keeps on coming. In fact, I think, okay, I guess I will say something about it. It's not really that sharp. Well, I guess it is. Well, that doesn't really count. A toothpick's been in my mouth for a while. But, I kind of operate at like sub sharpness with this thing, and so that's really a plus that I don't really have to keep it sharp. But one guy was asking me, how do you sharpen it? And I said to him, well, I'll make a video of that for you. And what I do, since I haven't made a video and I'm overdue and I owe him, I'm just going to show you. You just grab a rock, a stone. There's no shortage of these in Ozarks. And I wet it normally first, and just, you know, use it as a sharpening stone, and it works great. I'm not a pro knife sharpener, obviously, but this is all I do, and this has kept it sharp enough to shave feather sticks. And frankly, that's as sharp as oh yeah, you can feel that getting sharper. That's as sharp as I need a knife to be, to shave feather sticks. That's all. That's the finest work I'm going to do. And the hand, it's kind of big and it feels awkward to do that, so I just choke up on the handle right there, and the technique that works best for me is to pull, you know, like that, pull the stick through. But anyway, I love this thing. I fucking love this thing. And best bang for the buck too, and value for the money. This is how I wear it. I have a sling. I put it over my shoulder so it hangs like this. I can draw it with overhand, underhand, cross draw, everything. I can put it back, you know, one-handed if I need to. If I'm like holding on to something over here, well, there you go. It's not fluid, but I can put it back if I need to, you know. And normally I just keep it down to my side over here. Anyway, so Becker BK2 Companion is still proven itself to be the best knife. It is heavy, but like I said, it accomplishes so many things. Here's one big change. Here's the next big change I've made. This is a Sawyer Squeeze water bottle that I learned about on survivalistboards.com. And this thing is... So I've only used it once to filter some nasty algae water. But I drank it, and that was a week ago, and I'm not sick. So, yeah, I just got this thing like a week ago. We'll see how it performs. It comes, I'll show you how it works. It comes with these little bags. they come with different sizes. This is a 32 ounce. They have a 64 ounce and I think a, a 16 ounce or something like that. And you go ahead and you plop this in the water. I guess I'd probably blow it up first and then throw it down in the water. And then it fills up and then you screw it right onto here. Take the top off and you just gently squeeze it. A lot of people are breaking these things according to the reviews, and that's because, well, Sawyer says that's because they squeeze it too hard, so gently squeeze it. Because I read, you know me, I'm all about fucking durability out the wazoo. It's gotta be bomb-proof if I'm gonna use it. And this thing is made of plastic, which makes me question its durability, but it is literally like a pound and a half less than that, what was I using? The Katadyn Pocket Pro. So this thing is awesome. And it feels robust. Like I can squeeze the shit out of it, you know, and it's not going anywhere. So it is made of plastic, but it does feel robust. I'll let you know how that goes. That's the new water filter. Oh, rated for 1 million gallons because it has a backflow system. You take this cap off, and after the water gets hard to filter, and you just shove a little syringe right in there, and it backflows it out. From what I understand, too, it uses dialysis technology. I don't know what the fuck that means. I know what dialysis is, but I don't know anything about the technology to filter the water. So 1 million gallons in 3-ounce package, semi-durable. That's fucking right up our alley. Now, because everyone says these things are breaking, right, and popping, and frankly, I believe them. This thing feels flimsy as hell, you know. This is not the bomb-proof quality that we need in our bag. So, Sawyer, because they're genius, have made this adaptable to a multitude of bottles. So you can fill these things up and just squeeze it through like normal. And come on, dudes, how many times have you seen a bottle laying around in the wilderness? You know, these are forageable in the wild. I'm just gonna put it out there. Somewhere there's some human who threw away some bottle, plastic bottle, and so even if this breaks, we can pick it back up. Another plus. All right, what else we got in here? Oh my god! Oh my god! I'm fat. I'm crushing my leg. All right, Baco Laplander. This, I haven't really used it to cut oak any recently, but there is a lot more hardwood around here than there was in Oregon. I'm still keeping it. It's the best folding saw I can find, and it works, and it's great, and I love it. You know, not much to say about that. It's durable. It's great. Again, these are the USGI PDKs. This one has a whole bunch of tinder in it. This is my tinder box. This one has all my fishing equipment in it. A fishing box. And where I live around the Buffalo and White Rivers up in northern Arkansas. So there's going to be a lot of fish, you know, available. They stock those things pretty heavily. Let's see what else we got in this outdoor pocket. Yes, the old Boonie cap. I waxed this thing, ran it through the dryer. I think I said in the other video, it works great to keep sun and water off. It's worth it for those times when, you know, it's like that light rain and you don't want it's not enough to get the poncho out, but it's enough to, you know, annoy the piss out of you. That's great. And what it's even better for in Arkansas is sun. It's better for sun. Is that even in the shot? Let me check that real quick. And then in there, yeah, okay, all that shit's getting up in the shot. All right. Laminated map. This is of Oregon. I haven't made one for my area around here yet, but I will. I keep this in here to symbolize, some kind of S word I'm looking for, to keep weight, because it weighs a couple ounces. So yeah, Sawyer squeeze. I might carry this around and use it, but I'm not counting on it at all. I've got even more durable ones, the Israeli IAF survival flasks, and I've had those things break, so I'm sure this one's going down the tubes. Alright, I think that's in the outer pockets here. Side pocket. Ah, yes. The other half of the water system. This is a clean canteen. It's a 42 or 44 or 46 ounce, something like that. Stainless steel, obviously, so you can boil water. Stainless steel also works well to keep the water cool. It's a big challenge trying to make a pack that weighs between 30 and 35 pounds that you can use year-round to live in the woods. You know, it's like, this is a huge challenge. And where the fuck was I going with that? Oh yeah, so this much water is not gonna get me through a day of like the 108 degree we've been having up here. So in the summertime, you're just gonna have to adapt differently, you know, and maybe even the winter too. I don't know. I haven't humped over these fucking hills yet. It's probably a fucking pain in the ass. But anyway, this is a nice size water reservoir. If I need to carry more, I can. So I keep that thing down there. This is a Snow Peak 700. I think you guys have seen it in titanium. And this is my little dinner slash sweat slash wash rag. So yeah, it gets kind of dirty out there. So that's the other half of the water system. Bada bing, bada boom. On the other side here, I switched up and went with the USGI poncho. I decided, you know, it feels less durable than that old OD green German poncho I had. But I'm just going to use it until it breaks. And if it doesn't break, then great. It'll stay in the pack. The only thing I ever use this for is to keep rain off me and to keep, you know, over my hammock. You know, a little rain shelter over my hammock, or a lean-to or whatever. So I think this thing is up to the task. Like I said in other videos, I've you know, used this as a picnic blanket on top of briar bushes inadvertently, and the thing still works. So as long as it still works, we're gonna keep it. We're gonna keep it. There you go. Get out of here. Get out of here, you guys. Okay. What's next? Now we're going. Well, I guess we can take the outside of the pack here. This is obviously foam pad. Foam pad. We all know what a foam pad is. The reason I use a foam pad is because that thing is durable as fuck. I mean, it's got like fire burns all over it, and like half of the side is like peeling off and shit, and it works. So, I thought about using the Thermarest Pro Light 3 I have, but I think it's a little bit heavier. It would be more compact. That thing does get kind of bulky when we're walking through the bushes. There's real thick underbush over here. But I'm going to stick with it. I have faith in the old foamy. Let's see where it takes me. Alright. Let's get in the... Whew. Farmer's Blue. Alright, geez, I don't even know where to start. oh, the other significant change I made here. You guys know I like wool. I used to carry around a wool blanket in this thing. In this Sea Line Baja 20-liter dry bag. By the way, the bag is great. I will never give this up. The bag is here to stay. I can carry 20 liters, 18 liters of water in this thing if I need to. Yeah, you can do a lot of things with this bag, and it's durable as fuck, so that's not going anywhere. What is going somewhere is I used to carry around that wool blanket. Or actually, I think last time you guys saw it was 2 wool blankets. And I realized that what I'm trying to do is defend against hypothermia. Like, that's the goal, okay? I just don't want to get hypothermic. And the best way, I realized, the best way to do that is not to have a blanket, but to have a clothing system that comes in layers. So that's going to make it real versatile as far as like temperatures and fluctuating and stuff like that. So that's what I did. I switched. Instead of a giant ass wool blanket, this is the bulk of what I carry around now. This is my Filson Mackinac Cruiser. This thing is 100% wool and bomb proof. Guys, this thing's $300 and it's worth every penny. Every single one. This thing is just fantastic, phenomenal. It's big enough. I can use it as a blanket, you know. in my hammock if I need to. But really, you're talking about trapping heat close to your body all the time. So we had to ditch the blanket. There's so much wasted there. So much blanket space wasted there. That's why I ditched the fucking 2 blankets to begin with. Or I ditched the 1 blanket for the 2 blankets, the 2 woolies, the smaller ones, because there was, when I laid inside my bivy bag, there was just, which I don't carry anymore, there was like half of the blanket was laying down either side of me, and it was just wasted space. And I'm like, God, I'm carrying this shit around? Not even going to insulate me? I'm carrying it around? So, anyway, this is the main, and I guess you could call that the outer shell. Obviously, if it rains, I'm sticking this over the top. But that's the main. Obviously, again, wool cap. You're not going to operate in winter without a wool cap. That's for damn sure. Gloves. Now these are kind of, you know, wishy-washy as far as whether or not I should have them. I don't know where the other one went. Where'd you go? Mr. Glove. Paging Mr. Glove. There he is. All right. So these are just 2 wool gloves. 1 set of fingerless with finger full. Wouldn't that be the opposite of fingerless? With finger full inside there. Gloves. Now, I was like, what the hell? Why should I carry gloves? But this last winter, I was walking around, just went out on a walk, and my hands got cold to the point that I had to keep them inside my Filson Mackinac cruiser pockets, just to keep them from getting, like, you know, chilblains and shit. And I was like, oh, and that was in Oregon. It's going to get way colder here. You know, it gets down to, I think, 5 degrees or something here. So I'm carrying these gloves. They work great. And if you think about it, where your veins come close to your skin, as I said before in other videos, your wrists and everything, that's where you radiate heat. Okay, that's where all the metabolic heat from your body is getting radiated, so you don't overheat, so that you stay at a constant temperature. So if you want to trap that, you want to look all over and look where your veins are and trap that, you know, the ones that are close to the skin. That's why gloves count. So we're building our little man here. He's got his hands down there. There we go. Wool scarf. This thing is dual purpose and awesome. Again, back to the veins, you have giant ones running on either side of your neck. And there's so many ways to wear this. You can just tie it around your head like Bob Marley in like A Christmas Story, who's, you know, trying to keep his jaw from falling off, or around your neck, or and this is also my what I plan to use for a first aid bandage if I ever need to. You can just tie that up. It's not sterile by any means, but I've got a process to make it sterile really quickly. Basically, here, I'll show you. I carry a bottle of iodine. If I fall and hurt myself or something, this goes into this, and then I squirt some iodine in there into the whole bottle. I got a whole bottle of iodine. That'll make everything sterile in a matter of seconds. Shake it around, and that's my first aid plan. Yeah, so the scarf goes up around the neck. There you go. Now the Ewls is meant to be a grab-and-go bag, meant to function as a grab-and-go bag, which means I could be wearing anything when it's time to grab and go. Some people are like, why do you carry around 2 pairs of socks in the summertime in your Ewls bag? You could drop weight there. I don't think so, because what if it's, you know, what if I have to grab and go in August, right? Then we got September, October, November, December, January, February. It's the middle of February now, and you didn't leave with socks because you left with your fucking Teva Terrify 3 sandals, and you didn't bring any socks. That's why I carry socks. Again, that goes back to the whole 6 months thing. I'm sticking hard and fast. I want to be able to go for 6 fucking months. Here we go. I carry 2 pairs of socks because if I have 1 pair on me, well, first of all, I might not have 1 pair on me when I leave, when I grab and go. If I have 1 pair on me, then I'm going to use those all day, and then I'm going to hang them up to dry during the night and use these the second day, and one of these pairs is solely for sleeping with. I just put it on to sleep to keep my feet warm. Now, if shit gets crazy, like negative degrees crazy, you know, I can double stack them, of course, on my feet, and that'll help keep my feet warm too, which is another reason why I carry 2 pairs. This is a Sea Lion Storm bag you've seen before. This has 4 pounds of food in it, rice and beans. I think I got some homemade jerky I made like a year ago in there. The bag is good. This bag is what I intend to carry my food in, you know, live trapping meat. That's the plan to feed myself, is live trapping meat. We got a couple of raccoons around here we caught on the game can, and they're nuisance animals. So, state of Arkansas says I can trap them, and as soon as I figure out how to set up a trap without getting barn cats and other animals running around here caught, then I will probably make a video of how we trap that and how we gut it and skin it and do all that shit and process it into food. But this is where I will carry my food. It's not smell proof, which has me kind of worried, but it is leak proof. Like if I put something bloody or some guts in there that I plan to use on bait, as bait in the future, you know, it's not going to leak all over my bag, and you don't want your bag smelling like that shit, because we do have black bears around here, and bobcats, and supposedly mountain lions. So that's the food bag. All food's going in that. And I can suspend it from a tree far away if I need to, if it gets really serious. You know, them raccoons will go after rotting meat really well. So, I used to carry 2 of these. This is another big decision. This is God, I can't remember. It's not a Duke. I think it's a Bridger, maybe. It's a 1.5 leg hold. And I used to carry 2 of them. But now I'm carrying 1 because, frankly, because I have no idea to gauge how many traps I'm going to need in order to keep myself fed. My rationale behind dropping one of these traps was that A, they're heavy, B, this is a nice, easy, just setup. Like, say I get done hiking all day, you know, and I'm looking for scat, and I'm going to set up. I'll probably end up setting up camp, in all actuality, around where I find animal tracks and scat. I suspect it's all going to revolve around food. Food is important, but honestly, you can go like a month without food, guys. It's going to suck, but you can do it. So, I dropped one of these, the rationality being that I could, if I need to, I can, you know, improvise some primitive traps. Although I haven't checked with the Arkansas State Game and Fish Commission. I'm not sure if that's legal yet. But anyway, this thing is good for a coon, and I could maybe snag a beaver with it. Possum, skunk. Got to watch out for skunk. They're the vector for rabies in Arkansas. The vector for rabies. Bobcat. Shit. You know, coyote, fox, all that. All those can be trapped with just this 1.5 leg hold. I make no claim to be a trapper, but it is on the agenda of the Ewls, and so I will learn how to do it. Anyway, so that's why we carry 1 of these. Also, we got the fishing gear too. You know, I don't like relying on one source of anything for food, but we got the fishing gear, we got the trap. And we got forageability too. There's fucking acorns galore up here. I'll make another video sometime about processing acorns. But speaking of processing acorns, so here's my possibles pouch that we're carrying. Just dump this out here. There we go. It's got a bunch of tar braided nylon. You know, cordage. I don't even need to talk about that. You can use it for anything. This is a giant mosquito net, just cheapy, I bought from Walmart. This, back to processing acorns, not only will this keep mosquitoes off you while you're sleeping in the hammock, which I haven't showed you yet, but you can process acorns with these. You have to leach acorns in water or a river for, you know, from 3 days to 2 weeks, depending on how fine you grind them. And so you can use that to do that. What's in here? A bunch of fruit bags, some salt, I can't live without salt. I got a little light, a little mini Rex rechargeable flashlight. I'm hoping to make some kind of solar powered device to be able to recharge this. I think that would be really easy to do. Here, I'll show you the mini Rex. It's good for 500 recharges, which to me says it's good for 6 months. I got this little keychain thing around it because I wear it around my neck at nighttime. It's dead right now, obviously. It has a bunch of programmable modes. There's the 2 recharge nodes, and I seriously think it'll recharge off of, God, see if I can remember this correctly, any battery that does not have a charge greater than 1 or 3 volts, 1.5 or 3, something like that, which means you can do, it'll charge off AA's, AAA's, some camera batteries, I think. I'm not sure. I don't know. I have to do more research on this. It's not waterproof. That's why it's in the bag. But that's what I keep this thing for. Because one day I will invent a solar powered charging thing for this. And I don't think it needs to be much bigger than the light itself. You know, it's just 4 fucking LED lights. So that's my light in the woods. You know, it's lightweight. If there was some way I could make it waterproof, I will try that, but I don't know. There's the recharging rig right in there, and some earplugs. I think earplugs are great, and I have no idea why. Sewing kit. I've used this to sew up many things. I know it works. I know it's functional. 2 lighters, iodine that I was telling you about. This is my backup compass and temperature. It's always good to carry a backup compass, obviously, just to make sure, you know, that you're not off. My question is, when one of your compasses is off, how do you know which is the right one? I don't know. I haven't figured that out yet. A little canister full of salt, because frankly, I'm not expecting raccoon and possum to taste that great. And these are little fruit bags, you know, that I use for foraging berries and stuff like that. So, and some more miscellaneous cordage. Alright, that's what's in the possibles pouch. Get under there, you. Oh, and I say this every time. Homemade, totally made this. Totally made this. No big deal. I don't know why you're still talking about it. Just something I made. Whoa. I laughed and snot came out my nose. Alright. Is the camera still going? We still recording? Oh, we only have a minute left. Alright, I'm going to pause it and restart it here. Alright, we're back. Here comes John and Black. Now, I got so much shit to show you yet, but whatever. I'm just telling you as I pull it out. Now, I got a good friend, Liam, and I think No BS Survival, that Aussie boy from down under, they use hammocks. Aussie boy uses hammock because he's got like 80,000 poisonous creatures down there. Liam, my good friend Liam from Canada, said to use a hammock because sleep is cannot be underrated. And I got to thinking about what Liam said, and I was like, you know what, Liam, you're right. Up until this point, even after I switched to this Filson Mackinac Cruiser instead of a wool blanket, I didn't have a bivy bag. It was just sleep on that thing on the ground. It was like, oh, whatever, it's survival, right? I don't know. I spent the night out a couple nights ago and just got eaten alive with bugs. So they're all crawling around on the ground, and I don't want to, especially if I have dead guts in my bag, in my fucking food bag, or food that I'm going to eat for that matter. I don't want any fucking snoopy-ass raccoons walking up and, you know, crawling all over me and or hissing at me or biting me with their goddamn rabbit-ass saliva, you know, while I'm sleeping on the ground. So I decided to add this hammock. I could have gone and bought like a super duper $300 hammock. You can totally do that, guys. It's cool. But this thing, hold on. What is the total weight of this? I got a scale right here. Let me just weigh this right here real quick. All right, 1 pound, 4 ounces. So this thing weighs 1 fucking pound, 4 ounces. That's not bad considering the benefit you're going to get out of it. And it is kind of multi-purpose here. This stuff was kind of expensive. This is Amsteel line, okay? And I'm still checking it out. It's amazing stuff. What I thought were abrasions that were happening and cutting the line were really the Amsteel just flattening out and adapting to whatever I put it through. I just tie this right around the tree, doesn't hurt the tree, and apparently doesn't hurt the Amsteel. The only time I've seen Amsteel get hurt is when I tie slip knots for my hammock, and I'll do a hammock video in a little bit. But I tie slip knots for my hammock, and so I just yank it out, and when you yank it out, the stuff is susceptible to friction heat. So you just got to start, pulling slower. And I think the working weight of one strand of this thing is like 2,000 pounds or something like that. And you guys know I'm a fucking big boy, right? So I can sit and I've got it doubled up too. So it's like 2,000 pounds. I don't have anything to worry about as far as braking and everything. I've got it doubled up. You can single it up. This is like, geez, I don't know, fucking 9 feet of cord on that side and fucking, I don't know, probably 9 feet on the other side. I think I made them identical. And I could single them up if the trees were further apart, but frankly, there's trees fucking everywhere in the Ozarks, and I have no problem finding trees that are, the distance apart that I need them to be. Now, the fucking actual hammock is nothing but ripstop nylon, and it's cheap ripstop nylon too. It's God, I really got to do a hammock video. I think I'm gonna wait and just talk about the hammock when I do the hammock video. There's so much cool shit I did with this. But anyway, this is like 9 yards of 1.9 ounce ripstop nylon. And I have used this thing so much. Maybe I'll put some pictures in the video right now here of, no, I can't do that because my other computer died. Sorry, I lost the pictures of me. No, I have them on Photo Bucket. All right, I'll go try and link them. Of me just using the shit out of this thing. I wish I could find the... Anyway, so it's got a couple holes in it from fire. Like, had fires next to it and wind blowing into it. And so the sparks got all up in it and put holes in it. And I was like, oh, God, my hammock's done for. They're back to the drawing board. But nope, I can bounce in it. I can sit all 300 pounds of my fat ass in this thing, bounce around, toss and turn in my sleep. The hole hasn't even gotten any bigger. I don't know how that works, but ripstop 1.9 ounce ripstop nylon has definitely proven itself to be worthy of the Ewls. I am very impressed with that fabric. I haven't tried any of the lighter weight ones or anything, but that fabric is fantiddly-dastic. Okay, these were in here before. These are merino wool bottoms right there. And merino wool tops. Sorry, we went on a little tangent. We're going back to the insulation system, I guess is what I call it. And this is a top. And when it's cold out, it's vitally important to have a base layer. I don't even really know the mechanics behind that, other than you're trapping some hair really close to or air really close to your skin. But I know that I've walked around with and without base layers in the freezing fucking cold, and you need a base layer. Now, on top of that base layer, and we're assuming worst case scenario, like 0 degrees here. On top of that base layer, I carry an insulatory layer. And these are Polypros. These are Polypro bottoms. These things work great. I know for a fact that they get a little bit, start to get chilly, in conjunction with another base layer, down to when it starts to get about -20 and real windy and shit. But, they work well. These are actually a template for what I want to put in there, which is going to be basically wool bottoms. Wool. And now this is my baby. This thing is fucking beautiful. This is just, I don't know, what's the brand name? Royal from Chicago? I don't know what it is. But It's got long arms that fit my long arms. It's got long torso that fits my long torso. And I think it's 90% wool, which is good enough for me. And this is like the top insulation layer that I would put over my my merino wool layer, and then put my Filson Mackinac Cruiser over that. And that's essentially all I have for top layers there. This thing is so cool. The reason I take wool and why I'm sticking with wool is, if you notice, there's no soap in here. You know, I don't plan on bathing very frequently, maybe like once a week. I mean, how often are you really going to encounter a pool of water you can bathe in? I could take a horse bath or a GI bath whenever I want, sure. But I don't plan on doing that. I think that takes a lot of time out of your day, but I don't know. Maybe I'll end up grooming by the fire every night. You know, every other animal seems to do it, so maybe I will too. I don't know. Anyway, the reason I carry wool is because when you get fucking dirty and greasy and nasty, for example, this stuff, when the synthetic stuff will lose breathability when it gets all greasy and fucking nasty. And you want to keep breathability and keep insulative ability. And when wool gets greasy and dirty and nasty, you don't lose that at all. Not one iota with wool. In fact, I would venture to say it functions a little bit better because it's got another layer of grease on it. But wool's great because it's for those of you who don't know, the wool fiber is hollow on the inside. So nothing can get inside of it, right? And that's why it insulates when it's wet, because there's no water getting inside of it. There's still a pocket of air inside there. Anyway, that's why I carry wool. And that's my top right there. What do we got? These are spandex underwear, little synthetic underwear. I would like to get some silk underwear. I carry these around because it's going to be the simple pleasures, frankly, for 6 months, you know, in the woods. And simple pleasure, after you bathe, just go ahead and put on a nice pair of underwear just to feel kind of clean after a week of griminess. And it doesn't weigh that much. So I carry these around. These aren't what I'm going to wear. What I'm going to wear are Ex Officios. Oh, God, I love that brand. Ex Officio boxer briefs. If you're a fat ass and you chafe when you walk, spend the $30 and order a pair of Ex Officio boxer briefs. Those are what I hike in. Those are the reason I can hike. I should really send them a thank you letter for being so awesome. And they're durable as hell, and they're just great. Another thing I like about wool is that it doesn't stink. When you stink, the wool doesn't stink. You can take it off, and it might stink for a little bit, but eventually it'll go away. That means I can air my clothes out overnight and not just keep building up this massive, massive stink pile where people are going to be able to smell me from, you know, fucking 500 yards away. Because remember, one of the aspects of the Ewls is that it needs to be able to operate in stealth mode, which means people can't be smelling your ass 500 yards away downwind. 200 yards is the rule, is what I've decided is the stealth rule. I want to be able to be able to function and do everything I need to do with the Ewls, including building shelters, hanging hammocks, boiling water, whatever I need to do, and not have anybody who comes within or over a 200-yard radius know what I'm doing or where I'm at. And that's it. That's the fucking Ewell system in its current iteration. And it's probably going to keep changing. I'm really anxious to see how this layering system works in winter. The last winter I used a bivy bag and 2 wool blankets or 1 wool blanket, and that worked. That worked down to 20 degrees. The Ewell stated use is to go down to 20 degrees, even though in Arkansas, it's going to go down colder than that, but I figure, you know, if shit gets crazy, you know, we'll take drastic measures and we'll build a fire or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, the thing weighs, this whole shebang weighs 28 pounds right now, which is good because we're shooting, ideally we'd like 30. We want no more than 35, and we still need to put 5 pounds of ammunition in it. So I'm still got about 2 pounds of leeway, you know, that I'm using here. And we'll see how that works out. Yeah. All right. I think that's about it. I think I covered everything. I may or may not make a hammock video today. We'll see. Yeah, I want to talk about my hammock. Alright, I'm going to go make a hammock video. That's the Ewls. That's the current iteration of the Ewls. Just to sum it all up, that it weighs 28 pounds, and this is all the gear that I feel that I need to go live in the Ozark wilderness for 6 months, any 6 months out of the year, to be able and be stealthy about it, so that anyone over a 200-yard radius from my position will not see where I am, and be able to operate down to 20 degrees, which I'm going to need to go lower. We'll see how that works this winter. But the stated use is down to 20 degrees, and be able to function completely soaking wet. Yep. The soaking wet part is going to have to wait a while. Once I'm sure this will insulate me during the winter when it's not wet, then I'll do a worst case scenario and go down and throw it in the river down there. We live next to the Buffalo River. Just go ahead and throw it down the river there and pull it all back out and camp up there in the Buffalo and see if I can do it. Anyway, gonna go make a hammock video. There you guys go. That's what I'm working with. Bada bing, bada boom. Later, dudes.